Welcome to Titan Upload. Please let me know. I have a different setup tonight with the microphone. So I have nothing on. It's totally new. Trying it out. So if you guys can hear me, definitely give me the thumbs up. So, if you need me to speak closer to the microphone, it's kind of hidden, but it's definitely something that I feel will be a lot easier so I can move around and get to your comments and stuff like that. So before we start anything really quick, I did want to give shout outs to for people on this place like Jay, who was watching us a while ago from Afghanistan. But tomorrow's a big day. It's when I'm wearing the sweatshirt. But happy Veterans Day to all of you that have served. Thank you for your commitment towards this country. Today at church, we saw a 99-year-old World War II veteran who was walking into church service, and pastor was made sure he gave him a shout out, and everybody stood. It was a pretty amazing thing. So may even have Pastor John on here, who's a huge Chiefs fan. So sorry, sir, it's playing the Titans, so you'll never know what you're going to get. And I guess Titans just got your number as of late. The last 3 times we played the Chiefs, Titans have won all of them, and I can't. Honestly, going into this game, I can't, whether it be the playoff game, whether it be the one where Suckup nailed the 50-yard field goal to win the game, or today, I honestly did not go into any one of those games thinking the Tennessee Titans were going to come out on top. So with that being said, let's dive into the show and let's see what you guys have to say. Again, huge win today for us. Just wanted to make sure and check. First timer, Jonathan Williams. What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. There we go. Awesome. What's going on, CJ? And anyways, I'm assuming you guys can hear me fine, so thank you so much. But again, huge win today for us. Like I said, 35-32. Did you think we were going to win? Did you know it was going to play out the way it was going to play out the whole game? I mean, wow is all I can say. It's one of those games. First of all, I get a message from Darren. Darren shows me a picture of all these Chief fans at Nissan Stadium. We saw many shots. So those of you that were there, please comment. Let us know how the actual atmosphere was. I've heard there were fights. I heard there were, just a lot of arrogance to maybe some of these Chief fans that were in the house. I thought Chief fans were pretty well respected around the league. I heard Arrowhead's an awesome place to watch a game. So I'm not sure why today would have been any different, even though it was at Nissan Stadium. But at the same time, wow, what a win for us. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Rashaan Evans. I mean, these guys really stepped up for us today. And, man, was there any doubt, right? Was there any doubt? Suck up. Ugh. Man, we'll keep the negatives to a few here. But yeah, I'm very interested in your comments, what you thought about the game, and we'll dive in. We'll break it down a little bit to see exactly how this thing unfolded. But huge win for the Tennessee Titans. And then how about the Colts losing today to the Dolphins? Yes. Thank you, Miami. You decided to play today. See, the thing with Miami, they always want to play in the first half. They're usually up, 14-0, I think, to the Steelers. They end up losing. They're up 10-0 today against the Colts in the first half. And then the next thing you know, the Colts are winning, 12-10. But, man, thank you, Miami. Shout out to someone I know named John. Coach's tennis, man. Thank you so much for your support for the Titans. But you deserve a nice congratulations on your big win over the Colts today. So that's going to definitely help us out in the standings, 5-5. If you look at the shape up on everything, we were kind of hoping maybe the Steelers would have lost today, but they won, so they're 5-4. Texans, they're idle. Colts lost. Jaguars idle. Raiders won. But we play the Raiders. We play the Colts. We play the Texans twice. So you guys, we've put ourselves in a position, whether you agree or disagree, but being at 5-5, it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. Saints lost to the Falcons. So, obviously the Saints can be beat. And they're coming to Nissan Stadium, so we know that's going to be rocking. You know it's going to be a huge game. Guys, the Tennessee Titans might have a shot at this. We need to go 5-1. We need to be at 10-6. I think that gives us a chance to be in there, a very high chance but one game at a time. Totally things change all the time with this team. My view on Vrabel, my view on the offensive coaches, my view on Lewan, my view on everybody on this team. But I can't believe we showed up today and won without Casey. We won without Walker. We won without Brown. We won without Corey Davis. I tell you what, that is, and Butler. So a lot of our defensive guys were gone today. Some of our offensive weapons were gone, and we still find a way to win. So we got the chat lines booming up. So let's go to your thoughts, your stuff, all the stuff that you guys think. So here we go. Let me scroll up here. I just cannot believe the win. You know, it's one of those things. It's why they play the games. 6.5 underdog into today. I don't think anybody gave us a shot. I know CBS, they didn't know what to do. It was all about Mahomes, and he is awesome. Mahomes for like 440 some yards today, 3 touchdowns, the jump pass. Oh my gosh. When you just look at the statistics with Hardman, man, that guy just took off. Tyreek Hill over 156 yards and 11 catches. When you look in the category real quick for the Titans on tackling, you got Logan Ryan with 13 and LaShawn Sims with 12. And you're like, how did that happen? Well, it's how many balls that these guys caught on the Chiefs. So give the defense credit. They stood up. They put 6 points on the board with the Evans return, and they held the Chiefs to field goals. And that's what we needed to do to beat the Chiefs, and the offense eventually stepped up. So I'm going to go up through here with your comments. You guys got a ton of them. So here we go. Back to Jonathan from Maryland. So what's up, Jonathan? I'm glad you basically are here. We got a shout out again from Matt. Thanks, man. $4.99 super chats. I don't know how to get super chats, but he says, I think 17 of 22 earned their extension today. So he's talking about Henry and Tannehill. Says, no doubt the Titans are the chief kryptonite. Yeah, we are. Let's go. I'm not going to cuss, man, but whatever. We beat the Patty Mahomes in Nashville for sure. So Mahomes 0-1 against the Titans in Nashville and 0-2 against the Titans, even though he didn't play. Alex Smith played in the playoff game. But Matt, again, thank you, man. Mr. Super Chat himself. I'll get to that later. Cam, what's up, man? You keep doing what you're doing, man. I checked out on you the other day with your Oregon stuff. Alabama comes in today at 4th. Man. So the committee, Alabama hasn't beat anybody all year, but whatever. They play Auburn. They'll be a big game. But if they beat Auburn, Alabama is going to get in the playoff. I don't know if you agree or disagree. The only hope we have as non-Alabama fans, even though I'm kind of an Alabama fan because of Derrick Henry and Evans and these guys, is Minnesota Golden Gophers. So if you don't want Alabama in the national championship or the Final Four, whatever they call it, football playoff, you need Minnesota to beat Ohio State, and then they will jump in, and then you got a dilemma between Ohio State and Alabama. So those two are about equal when it comes to the committee. So we're not going to get into college football. Nobody likes college football. It's when I put it out. I just want to throw that out there. You guys aren't huge fans, and that's fine. I mean, I'm just trying something new, but whatever. But Cam, yeah, you keep doing what you're doing with Oregon. I hope you do get in. So what else we got? Nacho Time for Beavis. I used to love that show in the 90s, man. Let's move on here. Let's go. As Matt says, Eddie Rodriguez. What's up, man? What's up, Eddie? Awesome name, by the way. Titans out here doing God's work for the rest of the AFC West for sure. How about the AFC South laying it down to the Chiefs? They were 3-1 against the Chiefs. The only loss was obviously the Jaguars. But, man, they all beat the Chiefs, and we were kind of hoping the Colts and the Texans would have lost to the Chiefs. They actually won at Arrowhead, but we went in and won at home. I'll take it. So that puts us in prime position to make a run, and that's all we can hope for after how things have went. We'll get into all this, so trust me. All right, what do we go? Here we go. As a Titans fan, let's go for sure. You're in Kansas City. Wow, that should be fun. Hey, they deserve – they're a good team. But I would feel like if I was a Kansas City Chief fan, I went to the mall the other day in Central Illinois, and a guy had a Chiefs hat, and he stared me down. And I didn't get into it. I wasn't, right? I just kind of like, whatever. I was with my family. It's not worth it. But to get a stare down was like, really? But anyways, the Chiefs should look at the Titans and respect us, because we definitely come to play when we play Kansas City, and there's no reason why they shouldn't respect us. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I respect the Colts. They always beat the crap out of us, typically, with luck or without luck sometimes. And I'm not going to say that the Colts stink and stuff like that. We got to beat the Colts. But on the flip side, Kansas City, man, yeah, you should at least respect us a little bit. We can play with you. So we actually showed the league that, you know what, if you stick to the run, that is going to be your issue when you make it to the playoffs. I know Kansas City will. I still don't have faith in Oakland. All right, let's see what else we got going here. Just throwing some of your stuff on here. We have a kicking problem. We'll get to that. Maybe not today, but definitely during the week. Got some news for you at the end of the show if you stick with me. Let's see what else we got. Owen asking the big question to Brian from NFL Draft Geek. Thank you, Owen, for your question. You had no hope for us winning. I don't think many people did. Derrick Henry, yes, 188, 2 touchdowns. I thought was funny really quick, and I commented on Twitter about this real quick. When they went into the whole post-game rant, who did they interview? Tannehill, which is fine. Tannehill led us on that last-minute drive. And then as they kind of were breaking things down, they totally didn't bring up Henry. They brought him up at the very end, and when they brought him up, they also brought up Ryan Tannehill's running ability. Again, I'm not getting into it. I'm not upset or anything, but I thought it was interesting that Derrick Henry basically put the team on his back. Offensive line, give them credit when credit's due, right? The offensive line might have Roger Saffold in this room right now at some point. I gave him the link, so we'll see if he joins us. If he does, awesome. If he doesn't, whatever. But, you know, the offensive line played pretty well with the run, and I think that's our bread and butter. So with Arthur Smith, you know, I don't know. I'm going to give you some credit, but I don't know why that's so hard. I don't understand why we couldn't have done that from the jump last week against Carolina. Not sure why the second play of the game we're sending all our receivers deep and then we get a sack. You know what I mean? And then that totally took us out of the game. But offensive line did well, but Derrick Henry, he was just taking people with him. And this guy, somebody said it in the chat room. I don't know who you are. Say it again. We need to resign him. I don't know what J-Rob's waiting for at this point, but we have the bye week. I hope he gets a couple things done. Number one, I hope he signs Tannehill to an extension. I don't care for how many years. Just work your magic, J-Rob. Get him for a good deal. Hopefully he'll sign for around 18, 19 million. I know that's far-fetched, but if you can pull off a good deal for the next couple of years, fine, okay? The number two thing is you got to sign Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry honestly might be your number one priority. Dion Lewis, we need to get, I mean, he's on the team, but he got no touches today. He was a non-factor. He was out there a lot of times, so maybe he had a block or two. But Dion Lewis, I don't know what happened to him. I think coaching obviously is an issue going forward with Dion. I think coaching didn't help him out too much. But at the same time, I mean, next year looking at the cap, there's a lot of these guys that are Delanie Walker we're going to have to ask questions about. And I love Delanie Walker. But is Delanie Walker done? I think this news will break this week, actually, in the bye week, that he's done for the season. I have no sources. I've said this from the last 2 weeks, but it just doesn't look good for Delanie Walker, and you don't hear much about it. So I would not be shocked if he goes on season-ending IR at some point in the next week. But then we got some other guys. You know, Butler's going to be making a lot. You know, I thought he's done pretty well. But we'll save that for another day. There are just a lot of guys on this roster. Wake is another one making $8 million or so next year. So J-Rob can definitely slice that up and give us a pretty good amount of cap room going forward. So we'll have to see what happens. And then we got to make decisions on some key guys like Corey Davis. Anyways, let's keep going. I came in with Matthew. What's up, man? I came in with zero expectations. I was blown away. Lost my voice screaming in the living room. I think a lot of us did. If there were little thumbs up or stickers or something we could throw at this, definitely I think a lot of you would be in that same realm of things. You know, in the very beginning, the Chiefs were just on that first drive. We had them stopped a few times. They just kept marching down the field. Looked at my son. I said, you know what? They're going to score. And they did. And I wasn't trying to be negative. And then the Ryan Tannehill thing happened. You know, I still don't know what happened with that. I know that Tannehill lost the ball, kind of landed on it awkwardly. But Tannehill says he had two hands on the ball the whole time. I know he did rip it away at the very end. But that play did not – that looked like Tannehill had it. He may not have, he just had one hand against his body. That's control. And when you're trying to protect quarterbacks, I know that Nance and Roma made a point of this. You gotta call that play, and because you don't want people running in and just smacking the quarterback. Now, if that's a running back, receiver, whatever, that's different. But with the quarterback, you got to watch that kind of stuff. They didn't. But at the same time, the defense, give the defense credit. They stepped up, held them to a field goal, and then it was 10-0. But how many of you were like, yeah, we're going to come back and win? It's not that you're down 10-0. It's just your offense has been struggling, and the Chiefs are going to put up a lot of points. Mahomes looked like his old self right away out of the gate, and it was going to be a tough situation for us. And we already had many guys out for injury. So, yeah, I think a lot of us were really, really kind of blown away today. So that's a really good point. All right, Titany, I was scared. Let's see. Holmes, what's up, Holmes? Good comeback. Tannehill was a beast today. We're going to ask this question in a minute. I'm going to get you guys real fired up, but it's got to be asked. It was loud. Were you at the game? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you at the game, Titany? Let's see. Jonathan Williams showed up against contenders for sure. Now, we won't get much credit. Colin Cowherd has already come out on his Twitter and said there were a lot of calls in this game from the refs, and he already claimed the last one was offsides. He's made his opinion. I'm sure he'll go off on a rant and show. And let's be honest, tomorrow when we wake up, First Take, Skip and Shannon, all these shows, you think, hey, we'll get a little love tomorrow. It's not happening. It'll be about Mahomes and how great he looked, and they'll end up coming back. It may be a little bit about Andy Reid, how he's 1-6 now against the Titans, but how about Vrabel? Vrabel now undefeated still if they're tied at halftime or winning. Unfortunately, Vrabel, we don't have a very good record if we're losing. So if we can tie or be ahead towards halftime, I think Titan fans should feel pretty confident going forward. Something to keep an eye on. We'll get into this, and if I don't, I'll get into it tomorrow with NGB Talk. I agree. I'm not sold on Suck Up. So maybe you give him a week, see how the week goes. But he's looked real shaky. And even one of his extra points, I know he missed one. But even one of his extra points, almost another one barely snuck in. So, we didn't need him today. But we definitely are going to need a kicker going forward, especially the type of football we play. All right. Expecting a 23-20 game. Yeah, there's no Vrabel complaining today. Now, the media kind of made something about the challenge and the call, and Vrabel got real snippy. Vrabel also got really, really snippy after the game. If you guys caught his post game with the team, he said none of these cameras would be around for us, and he's right. I mean, he's really right about it. Usually you don't see coaches say that. And what do we know about this Tennessee Titans team? We know that we're inconsistent, or we're consistently inconsistent, if that makes sense. And we know after big key wins, sometimes one person likes to run their mouth. You guys remember when we beat the Patriots last year? It was Dion Lewis who ran his mouth. Something about the Patriots going cheap. Well, the Patriots, Dion actually won the Super Bowl. There was another time after the Eagles' big win last year. Lawan and that was going off about not getting enough respect. So it wouldn't have surprised me today that someone ran their mouth. It looks like that person was Vrabel, but I don't find it disrespectful. It was true. I mean, this team was not going to get much love into this game. The only reason why Nance and Romo were at this game, did you see the schedule? My friend Dan at work, he's big into the maps and knowing when a team's local and when a team's playing in a local area. We would have been on local TV today. I had to watch it on the Sunday Ticket, but the Bears and the Lions were on CBS. Go figure. But he made a good point. Like, did you see the other games at noon, what they had to pick from? So that's probably why we had Nance and Romo, and it also, obviously, Mahomes is a big play. So just to throw that out there, I don't really care about the love right now, you guys. I care about the win. I care about being 5-5, going into the bye week, trying to get healthy, and making a run. And I know you guys do too. And I care about the future, and I care about all this stuff, but I care about us finding answers and trying to make it work. I want to see improvement on offense. I want the defense to continue to improve and just this team to keep moving forward. We were promised good to great. We're not there yet. We're not even close, but it was a great win. So I'm not going to take anything away from tonight. I'm going to try to stay as positive as all get out. And I'm very proud of this team for showing up and playing today. And I hope you guys are too. All right, we can get into LSU, man, but we lost Burrow. Burrow's done now. So not that we were going to get him anyways. I told you, we're probably going to be around 9-7. I told you that at the start of the year. Between 8-8, 9-7. I'm hoping 10-6. 11-5 would be awesome too, but we're probably not going to get them. But yes, LSU, huge win. That game was fun to watch. I'll tell you that. I wasn't there or anything, but I loved the lights. It was just a really cool scene. It was rocking for sure. A lot of good college football. Oh, by the way, shout out to the Illinois Fighting Illini and Lovie Smith. How about that? Down 28-3, comeback against Michigan State. Down 31-10 in the fourth quarter, and Illinois pulls it out 6-4. Telling you what, may have a chance for all of you guys that are following me in Nashville in that area. Illinois and Tennessee. Tennessee is now 5-5 as well in college football, and we're 5-5, so that's cool. All right, let's move on. Lifelong Dolphin fan, glad to see Tannehill playing well. There are a lot of Dolphin fans in this subscriber content for sure. I know I have a couple, so I want to thank you guys for following us. And I'll be honest with you, Ryan Tannehill, super excited. We're going to get to him in real quick. Yes, run blocking was huge, Matt, for sure. Let's see what else we got. All right, it came on your channel as a Fin. See, I told you, they're around, you guys. Fins, Ryan Tannehill is going to ball in this offense. Great win for you guys. Yes, he is balling for sure. Now, there were some negative comments. The negative comments would have been Ryan Tannehill, hey, you only threw for 180. You have to take a deep breath because on the surface, you're going to see Mahomes, and Ryan Tannehill is not Mahomes, right? I don't think a lot of quarterbacks are. Even Tom Brady's not Mahomes. Now, Tom Brady has way more success, and he's been way more consistent because he's been around so long, but putting up these kind of numbers, we don't see that. Mahomes is like he's a Madden guy. Like, this is the stuff you see in Madden. So anyways, the bottom line is Mahomes just tore us up, carved us up today. But Ryan Tannehill, when your running back gets 188 yards and he controls it, and I don't have it printed out, but I wanted to. There was a time where Kansas City ran, 70-some plays. If you look at the time, it was 38 minutes for Kansas City, 22 for the Titans. So what can you really do in 22 minutes? Tannehill threw the ball 19 times, 182 touchdowns. I'm not complaining about that at all. And plus his running. What did you think about that? I mean, I didn't even know he was like that. Like, he totally willed his way into the 2-point conversion, and he willed his way into that first down. So I think for a lot of you you're still pro Marcus, and that's totally cool. But at the same time, some of you are like, whoa, I've got to take a step back here and look at the whole scheme of this Tennessee Titans. And the last 4 weeks, Ryan Tannehill has given this team a shot in the arm. Whether you agree or disagree, he may not put the overwhelming stats by any means, but Ryan Tannehill's given this team a chance to win. 3-1 now as a starter. So again, I know a lot of us are still really, really fired up about that whole Mariota thing. But guys, we're in the bye week. We're 5-5. We need us all together on this, and we need to march forward. We need to be united, try to find a way to work it out. And then at the end of the year, we can get in debates on, John Robinson make this move correctly or non-correctly, and point some fingers at some dudes that say, hey, why isn't this guy playing well, or why didn't this guy play well? Why this guy regress? All this stuff. Coaching for sure going to be looked at. But right now, nothing's going to change. No coaches are getting fired. And Vrabel and J-Rob are definitely coming back next year. That's like 195% true. So we might as well just get on board with this team and go forward and just show everybody support, I guess. And we'll get into Roger Saffold stuff too, how he came out on Twitter today and had a pretty lengthy post about, the fans continuing to tear him down and basically call him out, whether it's a win or a loss, and being negative. And let me know how you guys feel about that as well. All right. So keep going down the list here. Again, if you are not a subscriber, I'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. So I wanted to shout that out. And super chats, as you guys have seen, Matt's used it many times. That is available. That just helps the channel. So I'm not going to continually try to drive that down your throats by any means, but I did want to let you know it is available. And that's what that little thing is on the side of the chat that kind of popped up the last couple weeks. So before we get into anything, I'm really interested on this game balls. If you had to pick one, who would you give the game ball to? If you want to pick two, fine. But if you try to pick one. So I think it's going to come down to Ryan Tannehill or Derrick Henry. And if you want to go defense, I don't know who it's going to come down to. Evans maybe with a big play. There are a lot of guys that stepped up. Milton, how about the special team play of him? I forget who that was. Forget who the one was. It was catching the ball. Was it Hardman maybe? Who it was like his glove was falling off, and then yeah. So I mean that was a big time play. We've missed him the last couple of weeks for sure. But there were guys that stepped up all over the place. Kern with a huge punt in this game, and Vrabel, give him some credit. He had the team ready to go. So for all that talk about in the past couple of games how this team was never seen ready to play, I was scared. I told my wife today, I said, they got a bye week coming up. A lot of them got plans to get out of town for a while, to regroup. The Chiefs are coming in. They look pretty good. Mahomes is playing. I thought a lot of the guys were going to check out of this game early, but they didn't. So I'm giving the Titans tons of credit today. So let's see who you got for your game balls. Scroll down to the bottom here. Owen, hold on real quick. So we got Kalu for the block field. I totally forgot about him. Yes, that was awesome. Did you guys think he was offsides? You know what I mean? I don't know. It was close. There are a lot of people commenting on it. I got a text from a friend who lives up in the suburbs of Chicago, and he basically asked me about the win. Was he offside? I don't know. From the TV point, I could not tell. I have not seen a side angle of it, but from people that have gathered more and more info on it, a couple people have basically shared photos and said, you know what, it's time to just write. So I waited a minute. So whenever anything happens, Titans, I'll throw this out there real quick before I show some of this other stuff, but whatever happens, Titans, you always have to wait a minute because there's always a flag. There's always a flag that comes down or that gets reviewed. So there were many examples today where we scored and then there was a flag, or we scored and then it was being reviewed. So we know that happens. Raymond with the huge catch. I knew he got touched, but he got up, ran it in the end zone. They called it a touchdown. I said, that's coming back. Sure did. I thought the fumble was going to come back when I first saw it too. And Evans took it. Yes, one of you guys mentioned Long in here. What a huge hit. But, Evans taken to the house. I'm thinking, well, maybe his knee was down. It's wrong of me to do that, but for how much we've been through as fans this year for the Titans and going back to the games where we've scored multiple times and have been called back, like the Bills game, you just never know. But yeah. So let's see. Ferkser, definitely reliable. He's definitely been huge for us. So, I think he's got a rapport with Tannehill, which is great to see too. All right. So we got early on that. I missed that. I'm sorry, guys. So we got Henry without a doubt. He's phenomenal. When he plays, that guy is phenomenal. And he's got the great character too. Like, you know what I mean? He was taking pictures with some people pregame, and really cool guy. And man, wouldn't it be awesome to get him on the show? There was a Master Jedi, I think, was trying to hook me up with trying to get some of these Titan guys on this. So I got some information on that. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm probably going to get if we get someone on here, it's obviously not going to be someone big, but at the same time, I'm worth trying it. I'll keep trying. So you guys got any connections, let me know and we'll get them on the show. Yep, not offsides. Thanks, Tony. That's what a lot of people are saying. I bet you Kansas City fans are saying he was, but who knows? Who cares realistically? Like I said, before we even went live, I had a negative comment or a thumbs down. James is like, it's probably a Chiefs fan. Who knows? But it's like, how can I have a thumbs down? We haven't even started the show yet. Logan Ryan, 13 tackles, Castro, for sure. Logan Ryan, a couple big breakups. That guy, that's another one. I totally apologize to you guys. So I was saying Henry Tannehill. We need Logan Ryan probably back too. He just gels with this defense. Block field goal is huge. Yes, Long. I mean, again, and we'll get in this, Wilder. And I've mentioned this many times, and I don't mean to go off right now. Maybe we'll save it for the week. But when you look at this team, everybody, just take a look at this team. You look at the defense. Evans, Brown, Landry, right? Logan Ryan, Byard. Who else do we have? Butler, Long, for example. Probably not Correa. I'm still hopeful he'll kind of come around, the former sixth round pick that we traded from Baltimore. But those guys in particular, I'm not going to go Simmons yet because he just got in the league. But these guys have all improved. I mean, look at Jayon Brown, for example. 5th round pick. He's now in the starter. You know what I mean? Landry, another huge sack. He almost had a couple sacks. Somebody grabbed his face mask or his actual head as he was coming around the corner, but he was putting heavy heat on Mahomes. This is very, very important. This is what coaching does. This is what it does. It improves people. It makes them good to great, as the motto was. Why can't we have the same thing on offense? Ferkser is getting better, right? Jonnu Smith looked pretty good today. But then next week, or not, nobody will do good next week because we have a bye, but the following week, these guys disappear. Same thing with offense. Different positions on offense. Nate Davis hasn't improved at all. We need Nate Davis. He got plowed into the backfield a couple times today. So, Saffold came in and he's kind of regressed a little bit. Conklin's regressed. Lewan, we can get into him in a minute. We already know the quarterback issue with Mariota. You can't really say Tannehill because he came in from another system. Derrick Henry is maybe the only one, but he's always been kind of good, right? So that's kind of my take so far, I would say, on this team. I'm still hopeful. I still think this team can improve on offense. We've looked really good a couple times, but then we look really bad other times. I just want to see that consistency and play calling on all that stuff. So, again, I'm not going to give any negative vibes to Arthur Smith. I thought he did very well today, especially when you keep giving Derrick Henry the ball. I don't see how hard that is. But at the end of the year, we'll have to gather up and hope. I know the coaches will do this and try to figure out what's working, what's not. But 5-5, we still got to be hopeful here. All right, Tannehill, game ball for sure. Another Ryan Tannehill. Let's see, what else do we have? You think he was early on that? I don't know. It was really close. He timed it just perfect if he wasn't. He looked offsides when it first started. Let's see, 168 yards in the second. He is just amazing. You know what I mean? What's going on, Clayton? Murfreesboro. Went to a job fair once there a couple years ago. Middle Tennessee. Pretty cool. Let's see. I don't know about the wild card. Going to have to win the next 80. It's going to be tough because we don't have any conference wins. We were like 2-4 in the conference. We obviously are going to have trouble with the division because we're 0-2 in the division. But there are some good news. We play the Raiders. We play the Colts one more time. We play Houston twice. So if we can kind of hold our own in those, and like I said, I think the magic number is 10-6. I don't think there's any way possible because of Buffalo. I'm glad Buffalo lost today, but Buffalo's going to have to just get destroyed coming up because if Buffalo's 9-7, there's no way we're going to trump Buffalo because we lost them. That was a huge loss for us. Let's see. Hi from Hawaii via Chattanooga. What's up? Are you Marcus fan, Blackjack, from the Hawaii connection? And then we could get into Hooker for sure. He's playing a lot. So, yes, for the improvement, I missed him, but he is playing a lot. Defense, I don't have a problem with. As long as Dean Pease comes back next year, which I wasn't sure a couple, whatever, but we need him back. He's an amazing coach too. And Vrabel has done well with those linebackers and defensive linemen. I'm not really seeing Austin Johnson a whole lot, but I did see him out there at the end. But these guys, Daquan Jones, I mean, he's not going to get much love, but he does his job. We know Casey, does very well when he's out there. And Simmons, we're all excited about. Mac making some plays every now and then. So Vrabel has this defense ready to go, and I've never been negative about Vrabel on our defense. I just want to throw that out there. I wish he'd fix our offensive issues, but I've never been critical on him on defense. Maybe his play management, but today he was right on. Tony Romo loved Vrabel's play calling today, like the time management. All right, we're still 35 minutes in. I don't anticipate going any longer than like 15 more minutes. So thank you so much for, again, being here. Again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It just helps me out. It just knows that you guys are interested in the channel and you want me to keep pushing. I know I've been producing a lot of videos lately. This past week, came out with 3 or 2 or whatever the case is. I do it for you guys. I'm trying to reach an audience. I'm trying to improve all those kind of things. That's why I got new setups and trying different things out. So just know at the end of the day, love all you guys. And thanks again for supporting me and the channel. And, if you can subscribe and you haven't, do it. If you have, just thanks for being around for sure. I forgot Cam at 88. That's impressive, man. Thank you so much. And keep doing what you're doing. You do some really good stuff. If you want me to, I probably won't get around to it till like the spring or the winter break, Christmas break or whatever, but you let me know. I don't mind making you an intro or something like that. You let me know and I'll give you a shout out or something. All right. The better off trying to play spoiler and see what happens. Yeah, Wilder, I think for sure, going into these games, we can't have any expectations. You guys know, like, there were no expectations today. I don't even think Vrabel and the team had many expectations. They were kind of like, oh my gosh, like at the end of with the post game, like, why are these cameras? These cameras aren't here to see us again. And he was kind of just going off. And I just think, the team obviously believed. I mean, if you're playing in the NFL, you got to believe you'll win every game. The New York Jets came out today, you guys, and won their second game of the year. And Darnold and that team said they still have a chance to go to the playoffs. He is right, but they're 2-7. So again, why we should have that same philosophy as fans. We're 5-5. And to be quite honest with you guys, 4-6 and 5-5, there's a huge difference. And the other awesome thing with the Titans right now, if you want to buy into them for a little bit, is who we're playing. Like, we're going to be competing against these teams. So if we knock them off, it's not like last year where we're playing the Giants and the Redskins. We're actually playing division people. We're playing the AFC. So all these games are going to matter in the end. So sorry, my voice is kind of going. I'm going to get a quick break here. Too much talking. So again, happy Veterans Day to all of you. Anyone that's in the military or has been in the military, thank you so much for your service. Jay, if you're out there watching, man, that picture you sent, I blew that up. I didn't even know about it, but I saw the little picture on Twitter. And when I blew it up and saw that, I left a comment. I don't know if you got back to me, but if you still have that, I would love for you to sign that next time you're in the States. Send it my way. I want to put it in a little frame. That's kind of like very memorable to me. And I want to put it up my classroom because that was amazing. So thank you so much, Jay. And again, thank you all for your service. All right, what do we got? Did you see oh my gosh, yes. It's one of those things, like Tannehill put it right where it needed to go. Mahomes is going to get all the credit, but Tannehill was on today. He made a lot of great passes. That was one of them. And he also came back later on and threw a nice bomb pass to AJ where I thought AJ dropped it. But if you look at the replay, the guy from Kansas City had his hand up in there and knocked it away. But again, Humphrey's coming up big. You guys mentioned Ferkser coming up big as well. I thought that screen to Jonnu Smith, his speed, his agility, his athleticism, I'm really starting to grow. It's growing on me with Jonnu Smith. I mean, I hope he shows up against Jacksonville, but that guy's got a lot of talent. So I'm going to buy into Jonnu Smith. I think Delanie Walker, I still would love to see him out there. I'm a big Delanie Walker fan. He's good for this team. But that injured foot again that he broke last year, the injured ankle, still bothering him, and I just don't think he'll be back. So there's a lot of talk about Cam Newton We're not going to get into that here. We're post game where the Titans won 35-32 over the Chiefs, but we can get into that sometime this week. Again, there are a lot of you that are positive on that. There's some of you negative. So I've been dropping some surveys, just give some feedback from you guys. I'll continue to do that. That's a lot of fun for me. So maybe that will be one. Do you want Cam Newton? We'll see what happens with that. Raymond, we had Calvin Smith on. A lot of you I know didn't watch that video, and that's fine. But Calvin Smith, when I interviewed him early on in the beginning of Titan Upload, Calvin Smith was a huge Raymond fan, just huge. And that's what happens when you have speed. You guys seen what it did with Kansas City. I mean, Raymond, wow, down the field, good pass, good catch. Remember last year, same position, Jennings dropped it. So it's good that these guys aren't dropping the ball like last year. So that is definitely improvement on the offense. Yes, for sure. All right, what do we got, James? James, let's see. Drafting replacements for players for the injuries. David Long, Jayon Brown, Jeffrey Simmons, Jonnu Smith. I'm not going to argue with that at all. The only thing I was ever mad about John Robinson was with the offensive line. The offensive line was something he did not fix. And he let Klein go, and he didn't have a backup plan, and he brings in Nate Davis, a third-round pick from Charlotte. I mean, did he really think that was going to be the answer? I know Pompfield or whatever was a possible solution there, but he has got some diamonds in the rough with Dennis Kelly. Don't be surprised if Dennis Kelly's our starting right tackle next year. If you cannot get Conklin for cheap, I would assume they're going to let him go. And I think if they let him go, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think they'll get a comp pick for him. And then you have whatever is going on with Taylor Lewan. I know you want to get into Taylor Lewan, so let's just do it. Let's get into Taylor Lewan. Let's see your comments. Go for it, you guys. What do you guys think about Taylor Lewan? He came out after the game and basically said, I'm the one that's causing all the chaos. I'm the one causing penalties. He apologized to the fans. He apologized to the team. You can say what you want about Taylor Lewan, but he's always going to take the responsibility for his actions. The problem with Lewan is he continues to make these issues happen for him that put him behind the eight ball. And then all of a sudden, everything starts like crapping down on him. A lot of boos today with Lewan, and keep in mind, half the crowd was Kansas City fans, maybe even more than half. Lewan, just destroying drives for us lately. It's not been good. There were some of you that were defending him at the end, and they were like, he made some great plays at the end. Yeah, Derrick Henry 188. You can't argue Lewan did not do good, rushing with his rush blocking and all that. It's just putting us in situations with the late hit or whatever he had, and then he follows that up with a hold, and he was offsides, and he just needs to get it together. This is what I'm saying, like Vrabel. Conklin went out of the game. Dennis Kelly comes in. Then Kelly's out of the game, then Conklin comes back in. Why can't you take Lewan out for a series and be like, dude, get it under control? This is what Vrabel was brought in here. Keep people accountable. Mularkey, the one knock on him was people just kept making the same mistakes, and he wouldn't do anything about it. Again, you don't have a lot of backup for the offensive line. You're not going to throw out, Douglas, for example, and put him at left tackle or something like that. So when I saw Conklin go out or come back in, I'm thinking, well, maybe he'll pull him and pull him aside. We know this stuff probably happens on the sidelines, right? But at the same time, I don't know. Let me know what you think about that, and we'll get into that. So what do you guys think about Lewan? Lewan is slow. You believe in the O-line. We need one more piece, right? Lewan will be okay. Smack him up a bit. What else do we got? Evil Duck, not a fan of Lewan. At least he's taking responsibility. He will always do that. See, Kelly is the best, humble, always ready, for sure. Kelly really thought he had a shot at right tackle this year, so it kind of shows you what they think of Conklin. See, Conklin probably getting a ring with New England. Taylor will clean it up. Just want him to figure it out. There's some good Oregon O-line in the future. Nice. Lewan out. Problem is who you're going to replace him with right now. So what do we got going on here, Andrew? What's up, man? McNair is a pocket passer. Vince Young, Jake Locker. I found out my locker has a stain on it. I'm not real happy. I was thinking about busting out the Locker jersey for today, but man. So let's keep it going a little bit. Again, Lewan, I think he'll be okay. He missed 4 games. Hey, yeah, you're right. And, I think they made a point with this too, where Lewan was running with the backups for preseason. So he technically, if you want to look at it, has missed with the cohesiveness roughly 8 weeks. All right. One of the fastest 40 times. Oh, you're talking about with the slowness. Mark says he's a big baby. Well, I know he's dad, right? That's his nickname, and with his show and all that kind of stuff, it gets in there. With him, and I just wish Vrabel went on the show. I know it was funny at the time, but I think that kind of hurts when, you have your boss basically coming in and then you're talking about, him cutting stuff off and all that kind of stuff. And I know it was cute and funny and all that, but then when you start losing, I think that stuff comes back to haunt you a little bit. Again, if we're winning, we're not even talking about Lewan. You notice even on this post-game show, we waited all the way to the end to even bring up Lewan because we won. And some of the times when you win, it hides the things that you need to fix. Let's just hope Vrabel finds a way to fix them. And Lewan is sincere, like he said, with his apology. So maybe, he will take it to heart and keep improving, which is awesome. I still think Keith Carter, the offensive line coach, he needs to step up as the offensive line coach. And I just hope Arthur Smith can kind of regroup, take a few days off, and then come back and figure out a battle plan coming in against Jacksonville, because we didn't look good against Jacksonville. And now they got their quarterback back, Foles, and we know their defensive line, Campbell, is just chomping at the bit to get us again. So, they didn't have Ramsey when we played them last time. So, again, the bottom line, we're going to need to bring that same effort in each game, playoff game for us, realistically. All right. Yes, Keith Carter needs to go. He can stay around for a little bit, but because there's really no one to replace him. But all right, what do we got? All right, very emotional. Double. Yes, you're right. The one thing he does well, Lewan, he gives us an identity. He's made this for the boys. The Titans are behind that for sure. He got into the post-game celebrations with Henry when he scored a touchdown. Lewan, he's a good lineman. And we want him to be great because, he's being paid pretty great. But again, I think the feedback from you guys is either he's not going that direction, or on the opposite side, he will improve. So I'm going to go with the people that are saying he'll improve, because I want to keep it positive, and realistically, there's nobody else. And honestly, going into the draft, we can't need a left tackle, a quarterback, a running back, and anything else. We need to figure this stuff out, and hopefully these guys on the team, on the roster, will continue to improve. So when we get to the draft, we'll be able to take the best player available rather than jumping up, trading our picks away to get a quarterback, or on the flip side of it, doing what we're doing with left tackle and right tackle, all that stuff. I just hope we can find a way. I think we'll need a backup running back for Lewis. I think Lewis is probably gone. I don't know how you guys feel about free agency or not. Free agency is kind of a hit or miss thing. We saw that with Saffold. I'm still hopeful in Saffold. He was a 10-year vet. He was really good in those 10 years. And then he comes to Tennessee and is awful? No, he'll figure it out. I'm very hopeful for him. Just we don't know about Nate Davis, though. He's a rookie, but what's he going to look like next year is going to be a big thing, too. All right. So we got to Lewan. So we're at 5-5. What do you guys think of Vrabel going forward? A lot of you are hard on Vrabel. I was hard on Vrabel with his play calling, his game management. How'd you feel he did today? I thought he did really well. I thought Vrabel was he made some good calls, good decisions. I think the only thing the media got on him, like I said, was a fumble with Tannehill, but he can't challenge that. That comes from upstairs, and they look at it in New York or whatever. That's nothing with Vrabel. And I thought his ability to play the first half. So the Chiefs did not have a play to get it back. So I thought he did that very well with how he spotted Henry, and he was kind of in the middle, as Romo said. He wasn't going to go all in on it, but he was going to give them a chance. And then I also liked his game management at the end. I thought that was very well. He did good. The defense stepped up. He had them ready to play. They knew they were going to give up a lot of yards. And just think, I have no idea what Kansas City was doing on that field goal, but where the punter just threw the ball, like it must have been a bad snap, I'm assuming. That was a huge play. Holding them to field goals was huge. So, again, Tennessee Titans stepping up big, and that's what we need. All right, so here's another thing for you guys, expectations. Now that we're 5-5, I'll take these off the air. What are your expectations, going forward with this team? We all are hopeful we'll make the playoffs. I think we're not good enough at this point in time to take it like we're expecting to get to all these places and we're going to do this, this, and this, because honestly, you guys, we've fallen for this too many times with the Tennessee Titans team. Over the last few years, they are great one week and then they don't show up the next. So the good news is we don't have a game this week, so we get to go in very prepared. The one thing you can't knock Vrabel on is he is really good when he has some time off to get prepared for games. Realistically, he is. That Miami game last year, realistically, there were a lot of weird things with that game, right? Delaney Walker breaks his leg, breaks his ankle. Mariota loses his arm or whatever. He can't feel his arm. We had a 7-hour game. So I think a lot of with that game, I'm not even going to factor in this, but Cleveland this year, after the Jacksonville game, I think we came back and we played, Buffalo? Maybe we weren't ready to play. Was it Buffalo? I'm trying to think. No, it was Atlanta. We beat Atlanta. We played really well against Atlanta when we had the extra time off after Jacksonville game. So I know that they're going to come ready to play, and it's at home. And that's going to be a big thing. Even Vrabel in his post-game conference, really snippy at the end with the fans. And he said, I just want to thank all the fans for showing up, the ones that actually showed up and believed in us. And you know what, Coach? We all believe in you. We believe in this team. But at the same time, no excuses. But we don't – the expectations, like I said, you're consistent one week and you're not the next. So for a lot of the fans – going to the game and spending a lot of money. I mean, it costs a lot. We went through this with the popcorn and the pizza and the pop and the parking and all that can be costly. But at the end of the day, yes, we need to be united. Like I said, we need to be there supporting this team. So a couple things. I'm gonna take your comments here in a minute, but I did want to share this. NGB Talk and myself will be live tomorrow night. It's a special edition, 9:45. It will be a relatively short show, probably 30 minutes. And we are going to get into the mid-season report card. So if you want to leave any comments or questions or anything you want us to go over for tomorrow, definitely leave those in below this video when it's posted, because we'll probably get into a few. We have a bye week. So there's a couple things I'm working on that possibly will post this week to keep this channel active, but we should enjoy it, right? We should enjoy the fact that we won a huge game today over the Chiefs, a game we weren't expected to win. And there were games we were expecting to lose, but think about this. The Colts, which we would all agree their offensive line is pretty good. They're missing the quarterback, but their defense is okay. Colts lost to the Dolphins today at home. At home. So I think we have a realistic shot to go into Indy and beat them. And I didn't think that a couple weeks ago. And I think there's hope for this team. I think a lot of us are going to buy in that there's hope. There's a bunch of you already that said that they changed your mind on Tannehill. And that's awesome because you're open. And I like people who are open to see what's going on and then make a determination and not be just so, nope, not going to work. Nope, nope, nope. And then doesn't matter what happens. You're just going to, nope, it's not going to work. So thank you for the people that are open. I mean, I was open all the way with Mariota or Tannehill. I know that's still a fiery subject for a lot of us, but at the end of the day, Ryan Tannehill went out and played pretty well. So you can say what you want about Mariota, and that's fine. Again, I know there's a lot of supporters, subscribers that are Mariota fans. I like Mariota too. And I just know that the team, they've moved on from that. So he's still very important if Ryan Tannehill gets hurt, and maybe he'll get his moment. But at the end of the year, Marcus, he's going to keep doing his thing. He's going to go somewhere, and he's going to be fine. Hopefully his confidence comes back. Hopefully he finds a nice fit for him. But right now, if I'm John Robinson this week, I'm working the phones and I'm trying to get something done with Ryan Tannehill. And I'm trying to say, hey, 2-year, 3-year deal. You got to get something going. And if that's not going to happen this week, wouldn't mind seeing something break with Logan Ryan. Wouldn't mind seeing something break with Derrick Henry. The longer you wait, J-Rob, the more expensive these people are going to get. You know that. So I did want to throw this out there too. So there's a group of guys called Titans Weekly. They're on all the time. They do post-game and they also do pregame. So I've reached out to them at some point in the near future. Hopefully we're going to have a show with all of us together. And I know a lot of you have left comments. Well, hey, Titan Upload, why don't you work with this person? Or why don't you work with like Titans and Truth or some of these other guys? I just want you to know I take everything you say to heart, and then I'm trying. So I'd love to work with these guys. And so NGB Talk and myself and Titans Weekly, the idea is to come on here for a show and then go on their show for a show. So I'll keep you updated on that. Make sure you check out that draft video with Brian from NFL Draft Geek. Brian's an awesome dude. He's going to be back probably in a month or so. So I'm super pumped about having that connection with Brian. And then Brian, I believe, is still open with coming on the show as we move forward with the draft at the end of the year. And we got a long way to go with that. But at the same time, looking at the future of the channel, looking at the future of the offseason, it would be nice to break down the draft, whether it be monthly, weekly, whatever we got to do. So that's like I said, Brian does amazing work. Definitely got to check him out. And then, like I said, I'm just thankful for you guys just for being here and putting up with me. So I got a minute. I want to read some of your comments. Very productive show. So thank you again for joining up. So let's go back. It always kind of like bumps all your stuff all the way to the beginning. So see, we got Matt, 10-6. See, we got Vrabel knows what it takes to win. Let's see, Jacob Vrabel. I like Vrabel and J-Rob. I hope. I mean, again, J-Rob is only one thing that I'm not really happy with him is how he handled the offensive line. But again, he did spend a lot of money on Saffold, so at least he tried in that area. Let's see, the quality of coaching has to be better moving forward. I agree with that, especially on offense. I think he needs to force Arthur. Yes, for sure. Again, when Derrick Henry's on, get out of the way. You got to give it to him early, and you got to be consistent with that. Vrabel did well today. I agree with him. Matt loves him. Playoffs? Yes, for sure, Beavis. Good call. What else do we have here? Oh, back to the lawn. Keep us cool for sure. I hope so. What else do we got? Keep it going here. Ooh, we got an 8-8. That's not good. That won't get us to the playoffs. Win out, win the division. Do we control our own destiny with that? I think we do, don't we? So if we win out, we would win the division because we would get the tie. We would be sweeping Houston, and we would be the same record possibly with Houston, but we'd get the tiebreaker. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't. Because coming into today, guys, it was really hard to do the preview video this week because they just had us beat in a lot of different categories. And then when I found out Davis was out and Jayon Brown was out, Casey wasn't getting any better. He was out. We already knew Butler was out for the year. And it was hard. It really was. And Walker obviously not coming back. So that's definitely an issue. Yes, you're right, James. November is when he takes off. It was awesome hearing from the TV the Henry chants. I love that. It goes back to the Eddie George days. It just gives me chills. Should do playoff predictions. I don't know. My predictions haven't been exactly true. I'm getting pretty beat up on my predictions, but yeah, maybe we could do something fun like that. Henry is the only one we should resign. Thanks, Jacob, for the input, man. Let's see. Third string quarterback, remember? I'm not really sure about that one. So, inner zone, not sure what you're talking about. Let's see, I was hoping to prep for next year, but I'll be getting a quarterback that is at least okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's going to be some available. We're going to need a backup because, like I said, if you're Mariota, you're not coming back, right? And to be fair to Mariota, he's not going to want to come back. He'll want to go somewhere else. But I'm telling you, the longer you guys wait on Tannehill, he's going to want to test that free agent market, and you're going to have to pay him. So if we can get him for somewhat cheap, I think you got to pull it and do it now, realistically. I don't want to get that pot stirring again. I really got fired up for James this week, and we can get into this at maybe some other time, but I didn't think James was wrong with his comment at all. I thought it was funny. I thought Mariota probably could be a good receiver, the bottom line, right? I know that quarterbacks will never change if you look at Tebow, but man, there were so many people that were getting real snippy with James, and I was just like, I felt Titan Upload when James included me with A to Z Sports and Paul Kaharski and all these guys. I actually felt proud that he included me in this. And I went and I gave him a really solid, thoughtful answer. And some of these guys were just getting real snippy. Like, okay, if you don't want to leave a comment, don't leave a comment. But again, at the end of the day, some of these people take the smallest stories and they make them into these huge things. So if James wants to bring up a question about Mariota and receiver, I don't see why that's a big deal to, you know what I mean, to comment on that and just whatever. But James, I thought it was cool. So keep it up, man. Let's see. You saw the routes that he was running. He could be. Remember that touchdown he had against New York? He was our only touchdown. That's the thing too going forward, and I hope this team does it really quick. Is let's try to switch it up. Let's do some fun things on offense, right? I mean, let's just not be so do the same thing over and over. Like, yes, I'm okay with handing Derrick Henry the ball over and over, but I'm talking about some of these routes that we do. We did see Raymond, and he was running across the field in motion today. You possibly could have gave it to him, but they didn't. I liked how they were kind of getting Tannehill involved, running the ball a little bit. So just be creative, Arthur Smith, and, keep this team going forward. That's all we need. All right. Music City guy, sign Tannehill 2 years. And then, yeah, I mean, I think, too, if you sign Tannehill, you got a decent starter, and the defense is really good, right? And most of these guys are going to be back next year. Then you can go in the draft, and if one falls to you and one that you like, then you have them in the system. Look at what's going on in Pittsburgh, you guys. Like Mason Rudolph or whatever, he's not bad. You know what I mean? And they've had him a couple of years as a, third-round draft pick. So we could do the same. Yeah, I'll get into something with Mariota for sure, where I think he's going to go. Let's see. The receivers aren't good enough. Yeah, I mean, a lot of you thought A.J. Brown was a true number one. Do you guys still feel like he is? I'm going to have to take your comments off the air because I do not. I've been saying this for a while, but we're over an hour, so we're going to be cutting it off. Let's see what he got. Real quick, last comment. So I think they should sign Tannehill for one more year. I think he's solid, but at the end of the day, they need to get Joe Burrow. And okay, so here's the deal with Joe. You're going to have to trade the farm, and you're going to have to trade either Lewan. I don't know who wants him at this point. You're going to have to trade a player and picks. We don't have a lot of picks. I think next year we only have 6, and one of them is the one we're missing is the 4th-round pick. So it's just probably not a possibility when you're going to be in the 20s. As of right now, if we go 9-7 or 8-8 or something around there, I think we're going to be 19-20. So that is way too low to strike a deal and get up to get number one. So I think Burrow looks awesome. He did amazing at Alabama Saturday. But I think that kind of ended it as far as him coming to Tennessee. So thanks so much for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, so please subscribe. And thank you to all the vets out there. We really appreciate your service. And like I said, this country would not be this country without you guys. So thank you. We'll continue to support you and enjoy your day tomorrow. I know we're getting a lot of snow here in Central Illinois, so that'll be fun. But again, this whole week, we get to enjoy it. We get to relax. We get to take a break, take it easy. And 5-5, big win over the Chiefs today. So we are all going to go to bed excited tonight for sure. So tomorrow should be back for a special edition with NGB Talk to break down the midseason report card. And if you guys want any of those questions to be asked or to be discussed, just leave a comment, and leave a comment as soon as this posts on YouTube. And thanks again for your support, and tighten up and enjoy the win. Take care, everybody.